So I would say nothing is holding up this bill.
Great.
We are negotiating in good faith, very constantly. The staff worked all weekend together. We had our first bipartisan meeting last week, which went very, very well. We talked about a number of issues that were really issues of first impression, and all the members had to think about, like, what do I want to do on that issue? So there's still things that we haven't decided what is the right place to come down. But the good news is we're working through each of the issues. And so the Democrats met last night. We gave the Republican staff all of our asks for the last final amount of things that we're hoping to get in the bill. We delivered that set of asks to them last night. And then Cynthia and I and some others are going to meet today, go through some of them. And I'm just very optimistic that this product is going to be so strong when we are finished, because even the House didn't tackle all the issues that we're tackling in this draft.
Largest here, but third largest total in terms of corporate Bitcoin treasuries?
That's right.
And how did this all start?
The company's co-founded by Tether and I. So I was telling you before we aired, there's not too many people that were around in Bitcoin 13 years ago. Tether and I were some of those folks, and we co-founded the business. We're not a treasury company. We've been classified that. We're not like Strategy in the sense that we do have a lot of Bitcoin, but we're also building a business. We're building an operating company. We're bringing a lot of Bitcoin products to market with the intent to have cash flow. And so we find ourselves, we think we can build a perfect world between what is a Coinbase or a Robinhood and a Strategy in a Bitcoin company. We look at a Coinbase, we don't think they're a Bitcoin business, they're a crypto business. We look at a Strategy that's focused on Bitcoin but doesn't have any products and doesn't have cash flow in the industry. We want to live in the intersection of that, and we think, Tether and I were very confident in our ability to deliver that.
What would that mix look like, the part of the business that does give you cash?
So listen, Tether's obviously the largest stablecoin issuer in the world, tons of cash flow. I'm the founder of Strike, one of the biggest Bitcoin financial services firms in the world. Bitfinex, a sister exchange of Tether. So we see many opportunities in brokerage, exchange, credit, and lending. I mean, to us, the opportunities are endless. Again, this is something we've been doing for over a decade, is producing high-value products, high margin, high growth, cash flow, and the ability to pair it with a large treasury in the capital markets. We want to give the capital markets both blue-chip credibility and startup upside, and an ability to contribute and participate in Bitcoin's story. We think that the markets are going to really, really love that.
So you want to do brokerage like Coinbase, but strictly Bitcoin?
Yeah, listen, these things, we'll come out with them sooner rather than later. I'm not committing to any timelines today, but we're really interested in building credit markets on top of Bitcoin, lending products on top of Bitcoin. It's a $2 trillion asset that needs credit and lending and capital behind it. There's nobody better than partners like Tether and SoftBank. And then our experience in the brokerage and trading space, we think that there's evergreen opportunity. And really the thing is, our tagline is a Bitcoin company. We're not a stablecoin company. We're not a crypto company. We're not a prediction market company. We see Bitcoin as the forest through the trees. It is the opportunity, and no one's seemingly focused on it. And that's the story of this equity, is to focus solely on Bitcoin, deliver value to shareholders through primarily Bitcoin.
Who should buy your stock? Why wouldn't they just buy Bitcoin then?
Well, because they don't have Tether, SoftBank, and the cash flows that we'll produce. So, I agree with that. We do not want the market to think of us and price us as just a treasury asset. That is not us at all. We're going to acquire as much Bitcoin as we possibly can. I mean, I think it's crazy that we own over 4 times the amount of Bitcoin Coinbase does, and this is my first day in the public markets. But, we also want to build massive businesses, and I think the markets will appreciate, Tether's no slouch to that.
Has the recent volatility been jarring to you, or is this like just par for the course?
No,
much worse.
Par for the course. Come on, man. Yeah, of course. I mean, listen, to own the best performer in the face of currency debasement, in this new, fiat era regime of infinite amounts of deficits and printing, Bitcoin is priced on the future expectation of fiat currency. And it's a wild world that we're living through and having to go through. And so you eat some of the volatility to be the best performer. If you can't take the heat, stay out of the kitchen. and so, Bitcoin's a winner, and I have no problem riding this ride. And neither does the leadership team, the board. We've been here.
Partner for every technology company that matters. And Anthropic, this partnership that we've announced today, is very important to our clients. And so that's the role we play, is to make sure that we can take the world's best technology and mix it up with industry knowledge, with process, and how to actually use it in the enterprise to get to an outcome. And as you know, today, it's all about when is AI showing up in the P&L. We call that the P&L pivot, and this partnership will help our clients make that pivot.
tool we produce to help with development, and we've seen very large productivity gains with that. But we want to go beyond that to more general use of our tool, Claude, and we want to drive usage of the tool across areas like healthcare, life sciences, financial services, public sector, things that Anthropic has worked with for a long time. More broadly, I would say that enterprises have been experimenting with AI for quite a while. But I think really, as Julie said, with the P&L, the important thing is really to deploy these at scale and to actually drive ROI for them. And so that's what we're trying to do. That's why we have this whole business center. That's why we're training 30,000 people to use Claude. And we're going to work with CIOs of companies to track how they're using Claude through Accenture, how they're deploying the tools, what returns they're getting from the tools. So we're going to work with Accenture to manage the whole life cycle. We think these tools are revolutionary. We've seen that from their use inside Anthropic and many enterprises already. But the thing we're most excited for is to make sure that we can really spread these across the enterprise world, and that's where Accenture comes in and can really drive these things at a scale that hasn't been done before.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And I come back with that video just to make you think. And make sure you join the Patrons. If you're not a part of the Patrons, make sure you're hitting the Cash App. Also, go like and follow the TikTok. More videos to come. Just to give you a heads up, King has started his basketball, but it's only a couple times a week. I just want to make sure I give you a heads up when you see unexpected times for the video. Now we have Gillibrand says nothing stopping the path for crypto regulation. But we know in 2026, we're definitely going to have regulation. And then, of course, going towards the end of the month, doing midterms. Then we start the Hegelian dialectic again in 2027. But in 2026, they're going to try to put their foot on the gas so fast, you're going to wonder what happened. In 2025, we didn't get a whole lot of politics except for the shutdown. In 2026, at least for 10 months, we don't have to worry about politicians. But like I stated, in 2027, the Hegelian dialectic will be stepped up. And remember, the Crypto Teacher tells you. And we have Jack Mallers on 21. Of course, partner with SoftBank and Tether. And we know this is a big plan, and it moves in phases. There's no longer any more competition. All these corporations are working together. And again, with blockchain, we know interoperability is definitely the key. And when we look at Tether, we know the central banks have its hands all over. And SoftBank is a Japanese company. And Japan is so important for this fourth industrial revolution. They've held up basically the global economy while taking a hit. And when you're looking at geopolitical events, we definitely have to keep an eye out on China and Japan, because Taiwan is definitely going to come back in the picture. And remember, the Crypto Teacher tells you. And Jack Mallers speaks about credit and lending. And as the Fed starts shrinking this liquidity, which is going to happen, credit and lending is not going to end so well. It's the same with all this leverage. We know how this movie ends, but again, it's a part of the plan. Crypto is going to take the blame for the fall of this legacy market. And remember, the Crypto Teacher tells you. And we have Accenture and Anthropic partnership. And again, there is no such thing as competition when it comes to these big corporations. Their job is to move this fourth industrial revolution forward. And they're going to turn this health sector upside down. Remember, during the C word, a lot of the employment was government and healthcare. And who got released? That's right, the government. And now they're coming after healthcare. They saturated those two fields on purpose because they know these AI agents, robots, algorithms, and drones are going to change healthcare forever. Only thing you have to do is go and look at Japan. And remember, the Crypto Teacher tells you. And we have Jerome in the house tomorrow. And we know they like the markets to look decent while he's in. And most likely he's going to cut, but then also let us know that he's data dependent. The economy is doing good. The consumer is doing good. Yes, the labor market is tightening and inflation is sticky. And Jerome is out in May. And in 2026 to 2029, this movie is about to be stepped up. We are going to see a lot of deception, and we're going to wonder why the sheep is going to fall for it. But don't forget, we have the Epstein files that are going to be released on or before the 19th. And then also we have Trump with this peace deal, and we know that is biblical, by the 15th. So sit back, get your popcorn, and let it play out. And remember, the crypto teacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Will cause people to question things, but I think it's been well telegraphed at this point that they're going to cut tomorrow. So I don't think you can really change course now. But again, Sarah, last year when they were cutting rates, the 10-year yield was going up so much more than it's been going up during the last after the first two cuts during this period. The uptick that we've seen is only just in the last couple of weeks here.
So I think they definitely will cut. I mean, they signaled that quite clearly in President Williams' speech, New York Fed president, before the meeting. So I think they're going to follow through with that last cut. I do hope that they signal that, you know, they think the economy has gotten to a place where policy is in a good place and they are going to slow down the cuts, because I am more concerned about the inflation risk, the stickiness. But you know what gets attention are the things changing. And we've seen this weakening or softening in the jobs market. So that gets the attention for a while. I do think we'll get weaker data, because I think we're going to see government jobs in the new data being weak, because that's the end of the furlough or the delayed firing of the government employees. So again, we're going to see some weak reports on the labor market, but it's still in balance in terms of supply and demand.
You said this last cut, so you don't think they're going to be cutting again come January or beyond?
I hope they pause for a while and really assess where the economy is going. And I hope that at the press conference we get a good sense of where they're seeing the economy going. I think this counting, dissents and then thinking about, well, do they have enough to cut again or not, doesn't really tell us how they're thinking about what the outlook for the economy is. And that should be driving their policy decisions.
Going to a different economy. And we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of the huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, well, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we can have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting at more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets.
Now, it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and when the dealers have to step in to save a Treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
Crypto Teacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get on stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing, they were still getting that free money. What are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know, I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.